Alright, hello. My name is Spencer Curran, and today I'll be doing my semiotics analysis on a Nike commercial. So, I have a link to the commercial, but I won't be playing it for you. I'll leave it there in case you want to watch and connect what I say to what the video is talking about. So, first off, I want to talk about just semiotics analysis in general. What are the aspects of film or media? What are we looking for? So first we want to look at everything in the scene. We want to look at costumes, makeup, hair, characters. We want to look at the background. We want to look at the setting. We want to look at basically anything that our eyes can see is what we want to talk about, right? Is what we want to observe. And then we'll look at sound. So what sound effects or tones are being conveyed throughout, right? Are we looking at dialogue, audio? How are the characters talking? Who are they talking to? What kind of music is being played, or anything in that area. And then we're going to look at camera work. What is the camera mainly focusing on? What type of angles are being shot? It's important to look at this stuff because it can tell you what kind of theme the creators are trying to convey, right? Because we all know that a camera or a movie, a violent movie or a ominous, scary movie is shot differently than a comedy, right? So there are differences, and we can ascertain those differences. And then lastly is editing. Are there quick cuts? What about visual effects? Is there anything in there that makes the media look or feel unnatural or different? So we want to look at, are there quick switches from character to character? Are there, cuts from one setting to another really quick? Or, are there different visual effects that are added in? All right. And then we'll just dive in here. So aspect one is mise en scene, which is just, everything in the scene. So I'll dive in. First, I want to talk about the screen grab. So this is basically, they're showing the bunker that the main character lives in. The main character is the Grinch. And they pan in on him. And so I'll talk about what is in the scene and what's occurring. So first off, we start off at a football field above ground. There's some snow, there's a Nike swoosh out, and then there's an owl flying directly at the camera. And the owl, you don't really know what that ties into or what it means, but he's flying at the camera, and it's a little unsettling. So then we're taken down into a bunker, and there's a door, and the door has a Nike swoosh on it, and it says "Keep Out," right? So it's like an evil layer or whatever. So what connections can we begin to make from this? So we know who's making the ad. We know where it's being filmed. We know, who the main character is. It's the Grinch, or Nike's version, like a Grinch who's a snake, which is an ode to the creator, the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant. So we can kind of start to connect Nike, which is athletic sportswear or athletic gear, whether that's shoes, shirts, pants, hats, whatever, jerseys, and then we can connect it to a football field. And then we can also see, if you really check or look in there, you can see the TVs are playing professional football player highlights, right? So we can kind of start to understand that this is a Nike football ad. So this is where we get our first look at the main character, the Grinch. And then all of these signs that I talked about, the Grinch, football players, and a football field, signify a lot to a consumer, right? It connects pop culture, which is the Grinch and how he's a thief and nasty and he stole Christmas, to these popular players and their plays and their highlights. So then this is the everything in the scene continued. So I have a screen grab up there of the nasty list, which is a play on, Santa's naughty or nice list, whatever. So the Grinch calls out multiple players throughout this ad, and for each one he throws a silhouette of a cleat into a box, and he sends it off in a jugs machine, which is like a football catching tool for practice. And then at this point, we really start to understand that this commercial is an advertisement for a new football cleat from Nike, and that essentially only the nastiest or the most elite football players are going to get this shoe. They're on the Grinch's nasty list. And then at the end of the advertisement, a pair of the new cleats falls out of its box, and this is Nike's unveiling of the new cleat. Throughout the ad, it's just a silhouette. You don't know the colorway, you don't know the details of the shoe, you don't know what it looks like, anything like that. You just see a silhouette. So this is their unveiling at the end. So then aspect 2 is sound. So Nike employs a lot of sound effects here through voice and background music, but one of the biggest sound effects I picked up on was how they used machinery, noise, and like whooshing, like cold winter air sounds to kind of create this like evil machine kind of line of thinking, and all of this is building on the Grinch being an evil character, the nasty list, like all of this is reinforcing this evil or nasty storyline that Nike's creating. So then background music. So throughout the advertisement, we hear a Christmas tune, but it has some like mysterious, like dissonant tones and sounds to it that makes it a little unsettling or unnerving for the watcher. And again, this is just Nike trying to build on that feeling of nastiness or unsettled, like unsettling feeling. And then voice. The Grinch has this villainous and scratchy, evil voice. He used those like trademark villainous yells like "mwahaha" and stuff like that. So it just all plays into this character in this story that Nike's telling. So aspect 3 is camera work. So use of zoom. Nike utilizes slow-paced and fast-paced zooming in and out throughout the ad to reinforce that unsettling feeling they intended. It just makes it feel unpredictable and you don't know what's happening next. And then camera angles. To begin the ad, the camera pans from a football field to an underground bunker using a visual that almost feels like you're in third person. It like slices the world in half, right? You see the football field and then you see the bunker underground. And you slowly zoom in and out to create that ominous feeling, and it makes you uncertain of the next move. And then aspect 4 is editing. So this is where Nike uses special visual effects and branding to really reinforce what they want to reinforce, right? They want the swoosh to be on every part of this ad if they could, but they want to reinforce that and naturalize that to the audience. So we see special editing that adds a Nike swoosh to the Grinch's remote, and then when he checks off a name on his list, it's a swoosh. It's not just a normal check mark. So Nike uses special effects to make it appear that the shoes in their box are almost alive. We see this especially when one of the shoe boxes lands and snakes crawl out of it. And this is an ode to the shoe's creator, the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant. So they use a lot of different cuts and visual effects and everything like that. But the way they use cuts is they will often cut from a player's highlight to the Grinch in his lair, packing up these shoes and sending them off, right? Or checking his list and checking him off the list. So they use these cuts to feed in and create that fast-moving, unpredictable ad that's fitting for the Grinch. And then naturalization. So how does Nike use all of these different signs and symbols that signify, exclusivity and popularity and hype to their product? How did they use that, and how do they naturalize it throughout the course of the ad? So what they really want to do is like I said, they want to create hype. They want to create this essentially a club, like an exclusive club, the nasty list, right? They want the owner of their product to feel unique, or to feel like they got some high heat, or they got a hype shoe, or they got something really exclusive. So they build throughout the ad that there's only a select few players that are deserving of this nasty shoe, right? So all of this naturalizes what Nike wants to naturalize, which is the swoosh, which is their cleats, which is their product. So overall, I think Nike does a great job of this. Their signs and their branding are on cue, and it makes you want the shoe, and it makes you feel like a part of something exclusive when you have the shoe. So thank you. That's all.